in this lecture we will introduce try except blocks exception. So Python uses special objects called exceptions to manage errors that arise during a program's execution. So whenever an error occurs that makes Python unsure what to do next, it creates an exception object. If you write code that handles the exception, the program will continue running. If you don't handle the exception, the program will halt and shows a traceback, which includes a report of the exception that was raised. Exceptions are handled with try except blocks. A try except block tells Python what to do if an exception is raised. So when you use try except blocks, your programs will continue running even if things start to go wrong. Instead of tracebacks, which can be confusing for users to read, users will see friendly error messages that you write. So handling the zero division error exception, let's look at a simple error that causes Python to raise an exception. You probably know that it's impossible to divide a number by zero, but let's ask Python to try it first. So if we write print 50, then this is the traceback. We show the error called zero division error, and information is division by zero, and the line number and the statement of which creating this error. So the error reported in the traceback zero division error is an exception object, and Python creates this kind of object in response to a situation where it cannot do what we ask it to. So when this happens, Python stops the program and tells us the kind of exception that was raised, so we can use this information to modify our program. We will tell Python what to do when this kind of exception occurs. So here is what a try except block for handling the zero division error exception looks like. So we can write instead try this statement first, then except, then we write this error called zero division error we got from the previous page, then print you count division by zero. Actually this is like an if-else block, but here is try except block. So the statement, if the statement inside the try part has no problem, then this statement will be run and the exception block will be skipped. But if Python finds some error with the statement in try block, then next Python will look for this error, this type of error in the except. If it is found in the except block, then the statement inside the except block will be run. If it is not found, then the traceback information will be displayed and the program will be stopped. So we put a print 50, the line that causes the error inside the try block. If the code in a try block works, Python skips over the except block. If the code in the try block causes an error, Python looks for an except block whose error matches the one that was raised and runs the code inside the block. So in this example, the code in the try block produces a zero division error, so Python looks for an except block telling it how to respond. Now Python then runs the code in that block, and the user sees a friendly error message instead of a traceback. So the user will see this message, you can't divide by zero. And we can use try except else to prevent crashes. In some cases, we can use try except else block handling errors smoothly when the program has more work to do after the error occurs. This happens often in programs that prompt users for input. If the program responds to invalid input appropriately, it can prompt for more valid input instead of crashing. So let's create a simple calculator that does only division. We can make this program more error resistant by wrapping the line that might produce errors in try except else block. The error occurs on the line that performs the division, so that where we will put the try except block. This example also includes an else block, so any code that depends on the try block executing successfully goes in the else block. So we can write two messages for the prompt user to input, give me two numbers and I will divide them. If the user input Q, so the process will be stopped. So we write a while block, a big while block, while true, because while true is always true. So the program will normally run forever if there is no stop mechanism in the while block. So next, in the while block, while true, there also a prompt for the user to input the first number. So if the user, next is a if test. So if the user input Q here, so the running will be stopped. But if the user put in another number, not Q, then the next prompt is ask the user to input the second number. So next is a try except else block. We'll see in the try block is the division of int of this number divided by the int of the second number. So if the statement has no problem, can be run, then the else block will be run. And if the statement has problem, has caused some error in the traceback, then the except zero division error block will be tested. So if the error in the try block raises an error called zero division error, then the except zero division error block will be run, and the user will see you can't divided by zero. Then we'll go back to the while true. Then we'll go back to the while true. And if it's not zero division error, the except block will be skipped and the else block will be run. So anyway, if there is no error in the try block, this statement will be run. Print the answer. So user will feel very smoothly for this kind of program. So we will show this statement running in Anaconda Spite. We see the file section 9 files and exceptions.py. The link to the file has been added in the description of this video. Then we move to lecture 3 using try except blocks exception and handling zero division error. We can try first to print file 0. Run. There's a traceback information. Zero division error, division by 0. Then we use try except block to see how it's going. So this time user will see you can't divide by 0. A better message. Then we can make use exceptions to prevent crashes. So these two messages will run. User will know if he inputs Q, the program will stop. So we run a while true to ask user to input the two number. Then is a try except else block for the division. And we will run. We see first number, for example 19, and second number 0. Then user will see you can't divide by 0. Then we still show the first number, and the program does not stop. Just back to the while true. While true, and 10, 5, second number 2. Then also so, and until user input Q here will be stopped.